Hi, I'm Christina, and this is New Ways Podcast. Today, my guest is Sarah Waka. Thank you for being here with me.
Yes, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to get into this topic today. We are going to be discussing conscious health and wellness. And I'm obsessed with health and wellness because I do believe in like mind, body, spirit. And when you are not physically well, your mental suffers as well as vice versa. So I'm really curious, what do you think conscious health and wellness is?
I think simply put, just it's a lifestyle that can then lead to other facets of conscious living. You know, that's what I teach with my coaching is how to get conscious so that you can make conscious decisions that then you can take ownership and responsibility of and put that into action and have it just be this day-to-day thing. You know, we live in a very Western culture. I'm from Japan. My upbringing was kind of split between both cultures. And so I really got to experience how the West lives and then how the East lives. And, you know, Japan is very simple. Like growing up, my breakfast was warm. Here it's cold.
Yeah.
Like it could not be more opposite. And when I started diving into things like gut health, it was very evident to me that, you know, having warm liquids is very good just for stimulating and activating and waking up the body, good for your gut health, all these things. But, you know, one thing I say is, and also we're very stuck on trends here.
We are.
Like diets, fads, trends. I don't focus on any of those. I focus on the lifestyle, your day-to-day habits, your day-to-day standards, because your habits are your standards.
Definitely.
If your standard is to have, you know, fast food every day, that's your lifestyle. And that's a standard for you.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But if you want something different, then you also have to change your standard, which, you know, it's all kind of interlinked. Your habits, your standards, your reality, they kind of define you, you know, and then you are the outcome of that.
Oh, definitely. I'm curious why you think that we are such a trendy type of environment, like community in the United States. Why do we tend to follow trends versus just doing one thing that kind of works for us or trying to implement every single day, like just being conscious and then going with the flow of where our body is telling us it needs? Why do you think we're so quick to jump on the next fad?
I think we have a lot of overstimulation that, at least for me, I did not have growing up. You know, I didn't have cell phones growing up. It was very much like dial-up era. And even when I was in Japan, when I was in middle school, we started to have the flip phones, and all of that technology didn't come out until I was in high school in America. But like, I can tell you, my childhood was very simple, like always in nature, reading books. My parents had rabbit ears, like very, very simple. They didn't really believe in wanting to, you know, be in front of a TV all day long. And of course, in Japan, I grew up kind of playing games, like the traditional, like Mario Nintendo games.
Yeah.
But even then, it was very active. Like I played sports growing up. And so I didn't have distraction of just like being on anything other than just what was in front of me and just living in that moment. And so my entire childhood, I can tell you the memories of what I did and what I didn't do because I was engaged.
Yeah.
I was engaged in moving the body. And you know, when I was for college, I really wanted to study the human anatomy. And so I went into massage therapy school. At the time, the school that I went to was owned by a company out of London. So it was very British standards. And this was actually in Utah. And they were, they had a contract with University of Utah. So we were part of the cadaver labs. And so I got to actually experience the physical human body. And once I realized how the body functioned inside out, I mean, it just kind of made sense from there. And that dove me into nutrition. And I'm like, okay, if this is how the body functions when it's healthy or when it's not healthy, like things just became very simple and clear for me. And I think one of the biggest things that I find, and I continue to find more of, especially when I travel, is the level of marketing And I feel like the US is so high in the marketing game. Like I feel like America is very much the masters of marketing.
For sure.
You know, I don't know how true this is, but I have heard like in Europe, certain commercials are banned that we have here. You know, just every standard is a little bit different with every country. But I've, you know, like even in Japan, there's marketing, of course, ads and stuff, but not at the level, we have here.
Well, I'm pretty sure that we love statistics. Companies will actually hire people in the advertisement industry to market towards people, like toward their emotions, to like the quick dopamine fix, to make us more addicted to, like, honestly, I was gonna say I feel like we're so quick to jump to like the next fad because we are kind of like programmed to chase dopamine, for one, chase these
Yeah.
highs of trying something new. But also I feel like we're appealed to the emotions in a sense where like you could always be doing better. You know, like there's always something to be fixed.
Yeah.
Where my approach to health is, I'm like, for one, are you doing this because you love yourself or you hate yourself? So I believe that is a huge difference.
Yeah.
As well as I'm like, I spent so many years thinking that like I constantly need to heal and this and that. There's always something I can be improving on. But once I realize I'm like, I'm exactly perfect how I'm supposed to be right now, and everything else I'm doing for myself is an act of love. It's an act because I want to be able to like be the best version of myself versus like I'm broken. I just think we do love to fixate on like there's something we need to fix about ourselves. And I'm like, to me, that's just not a good undertone to have when approaching any type of health, regardless if it's your physical health or your mental health. I'm like, you need to be nice to yourself, and you have to want to do it for yourself from an act of love, not because somebody else is telling you to do it, not because it's a cool thing to do right now or you think it's going to be a quick fix.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the reasons why I think we need to kind of slow down, like you said, and realize what's really going to work for us and listen to ourselves and treat it as a lifestyle and make it truly for who we are, because everybody is so different. I'm in the medical field, and the one thing we say, everybody wants a quick answer. They're like, how long is my healing going to be? How long is the surgery going to take? And I'm like, everybody is so different. We can give you an idea, but just because one person responds this way does not mean you are. So I do think really living consciously is the key.
Yeah.
So it seems like you've really found a way to implement this in your life. How do you think people start implementing it in theirs? What do you think is key to get away from this whole fad, like crash dieting, crash type of workout, health style, and go into something more wholesome and intuitive for themselves?
Yeah. I mean, I can just speak from experience, like giving some clients that I've worked with over the past couple years, because like you said, everyone's looking for a quick fix, but that's also, I think, part of the programming. And you know, really what I teach with my holistic nutrition, I call it like a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, which also means like more mindset. I teach more of the mindset over. I mean, to me, the nutrition part is really easy. You know, we have abundance of nutrition here.
We do.
As well as, you know, other things that may be more poisonous for you. But we have to really start deprogramming what we've been programmed into, first of all. So it's accepting that. Because a lot of times I feel like, at least with the people that I attract, often it becomes this pattern of, I've tried everything. Nothing's worked. You know, I've done all the testing,
Yeah,
all
I've
these
heard
things.
that a
I've been through the
lot.
runarounds. The doctors can't figure out what this is, which seems to be a very common pattern. And so I come in and I'm kind of doing the opposite. And what I do is, okay, let's get back to what your body is telling you. What is the information that your body is giving you? And I want you to start trusting you again. And you see this shift. Like, it's very interesting to watch people, you know, like with my clients, I do weekly check-ins, and there's also so much guilt when we don't get things right, because people want regimens. People want like this strict thing. Some people are more relaxed and they're very open and they're like, okay, whatever you like give me, like I'll do it. But some people tend to be, you know, like they need the certainty. And, you know, sometimes some of these weekly calls can be like, well, you know I wasn't supposed to do this, but I still had the cookie. And I was like, and there's a moment where sometimes I've gone like they're expecting me to get mad at them. And
I could see that.
yeah.
Probably because they're mad at themselves too, though.
Well, it's also conditioning because they've already worked with so many people, or they've been through the runaround, where even in like the nutrition world, I still think that there's still like this this deficiency mindset, because everyone is so sick that, you know, or it's people that really don't believe that they can like properly heal, you know, because again, that's still the mindset. That's all conditioning, and it has nothing to do with the actuality of their body at all.
Yeah.
And, you know, and first of all, like I don't work with anyone that can't commit. Because even when you're committed, you're still gonna have those doubts, rightfully so. But you know, like if a client gets into this state of kind of guilt, and I'm like, well, how did that make you feel? Like, what did your body tell you? What was the information that your body gave you? And go off of that. Like, you don't need to tell me that you ate a cookie or that you didn't eat a cookie. Like, there's no guilt here. Like, you made a choice, you were right. Yeah. And in fact, it's actually okay that you had the cookie, because this is an opportunity for you to rewire your patterns, rewire your choices. It's not going to happen overnight. So I expect you to do what you get to do if it's going to help you tap into your body. You know, and I think the biggest thing is once people feel the relief and they feel safe, that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to have that thing that's not part of the program. Yeah. And I don't even use the word, there's very specific words that I will not use. I don't use the word diet. I use the word lifestyle.
Okay, I love that.
Because it broadens the spectrum.
Well, realistically, too, I feel like diets are known to be short term. I'm going on a diet to lose this amount of weight and it's done. But I'm like, that's not sustainable. Right. It's not. That's why we have this yo-yo effect. So many people initially might see results, but then to me, sustainability and like inclusiveness in everything is such a key, because I'm like, you don't want to deprive yourself from the joys of life. Like having the cookie is not going to kill you. But if you upset yourself every single time you do, that's going to be detrimental to how you view yourself and the way that your confidence and able to do things and sustain this way of life. So I do think a lot of mental health goes into your physical health. Like if anything, I would argue it's even more important sometimes, because when you do love yourself, you do make better choices just naturally. Yeah. I started eating more clean coming to LA because I genuinely felt like I was stepping more into who I was. And it wasn't even like stressful. It just happened naturally. Yeah. You know, or it's like, I do think that our human brain loves to play like tricks on us too. When the second you tell us we can't have something, automatically we want it, right?
Exactly. Which is why I don't do it. If anything, I really do my best to support the person's nervous system to feel safe to let go. Because when you feel safe and you feel seen and you feel heard and you feel validated, you naturally do the right thing anyway. It's when you're stressed and you feel like you have to do things perfect, or that there's no room to make mistakes, or to me, making mistakes, it's really just making choices. Then everything tenses up, and then you do what you have always done, which is why you have the lifestyle that you do, right? It's like, it's still part of your old patterning or your current patterning, because if you feel safe, like you're happier, you're more vibrant, you naturally lean into doing the right thing, whatever that is for you. It's when you're stressed that you overeat or you undereat. Like for me, when I get stressed, I lose my appetite. For me, I think it's my body's way of trying to reset. Like animals will fast when they're sick. So it's very like natural, but you know, I think it's how we cope. So for me, when I do nutrition and coaching, it's really not about the nutrition. Of course it is. But again, nutrition is easy, especially in LA. Like when there's farmers markets almost every day, we have so many options. A lot of things I would say are probably like year round. And so, you know, checking ingredients, like it's not that hard. What I focus on is the mindset, because you can have all the best tools in the world. It doesn't matter if you don't have the right mindset.
I completely agree with that.
That's why athletes have coaches and mentors, like there's a reason for that. Like you could be the best player. It doesn't matter if you don't have the right mindset. And you've seen it. I've seen it many times where you have the top players, just one off day. What does that lead to? What did it cost for them to just have that one off day when they're the best of the best and they still have that one off day? So I really coach mindset, and I really do my best to create a space where clients feel seen and clients feel heard, but also having boundaries and standards, holding them accountable. And then I just see a softening. Once they soften, like they get better naturally. And they're doing it. Like I'm doing nothing. I'm just facilitating.
Yeah.
Like I do nothing because they're really doing it. So, and then, it becomes like, rather I normally go for this, but today I went for that. And it's like, then we celebrate it.
Yeah.
Because they start within that safety, they start to feel conscious. To me, consciousness is part of also feeling safe. I think it's hard to try and make conscious decisions when you're so overwhelmed and you're stressed and you don't feel safe. Yeah. So and that's it kind of goes in the opposite direction.
Yeah. And that's why I love like coaches and mentors and communities too, because a lot of times people have been in this war against themselves for so long that oftentimes they just need some external person or force to tell them, hey, it's okay. And that's when they soften. If they can't be their own support system, like you said, you're just a guide. A lot of times, like a lot of things in this world, I feel like are so simple. Our little monkey brains just love to like tell us otherwise. And when you've been doing it for so long and you're conditioned to like, depending on your household, be demonized for certain foods or certain ways of life, sometimes all you just need is that one person to say, hey, it's okay. That's why we spoke previously about community. And I love that aspect where I'm like all the answers, because to me, sometimes coaching is the most easiest thing in the world because things are simple. I think we do just need to slow down and really tune into ourselves and get back to the basics. But sometimes all you need is permission. All you need is a listening ear and somebody in your corner.
Yeah.
And on that note, too, I kind of want to ask you then, what are some of the most frequent mental blocks you run into with clients when it comes to nutrition?
That they're not worthy or that they can't do it or it's too hard. The excuses are the same, but it all stems from fear. It all stems from, they've been living in this state for so long, but again, I think it helps when I really have that kind of like discovery call with someone to really engage on like, how committed are you? Because while certain areas may be more simple than other areas, like this is also a time of discipline. And if you're really ready to get into a new phase, a new body, a new mindset, then it is going to be work. And you're going to work at it.
Yeah.
And I say very clear, like, it's not going to be perfect. Like, that's just something that you can just erase and not even think about because you get to just live the human experience, enjoy the ride, trust the process. And if you need anything, I'm here. But I think like anyone, it's, I think it's the battle. I see, even for myself, like I'll see the battle. Like I take people through, like Parasite cleanses, which is part of my program. The Parasite portion is where you really get to have probably the most discipline that you've probably ever had, because that's where you get to really, really, really get simple with your needs.
Okay. Explain that to me then, because I'm actually curious. I've never done a Parasite cleanse. What do you mean you really get simple with your needs? What does that entail? Just because I'm curious.
Yeah, it's honing in on, and everyone's a little bit different based on where they're starting from. Some people, I've had like male clients that are used to water fasts and they've done intermittent fasting. So to me, it's a very disciplined, aware, more conscious state of intermittent fasting.
Okay.
While still being open to listening to your body, especially for women, if you're going through cycles, then we may actually just delay when you start, the Parasite portion based on what your body's need is. But it's just, you have to break something in order to get into something new. You have to break the pattern. You can't expect to evolve without doing actually something new and putting it into action. So we're really breaking things, you know, and putting things back into a beautiful way. And yeah, it's really beautiful to see people like blossom, or people just, you know, leave more courageously. Or I just love witnessing people when they're like, I feel confident today. And I feel, you know, like their mood changes, their attitude changes. They start to get more brighter. Like it's so beautiful, which is why I'm very like, take before and after photos. Take before and after photos. Your eyes will change, your skin will change.
And I feel like people do really like to see the results, because oftentimes when we're in it, I say it all the time, when you're in the frame, you can't see the picture. Yep. So a lot of times, like when people are in it, they are getting results, but they can't see it because they see themselves every single day. So I do love, I'm such a big person on reflection, to be honest with you. Whenever I start doubting myself, saying I'm not doing enough, or saying that like I haven't made any progress, I just remind myself of where I was like a few years ago, a few months ago, a few weeks ago. And I feel like that's often what we forget, is to look back and actually recognize our progress and be proud of what we've done. And it proves that you are capable of good things. And I feel like that goes into so many other aspects of life. Then how you do one thing is how you do everything. So regardless if it's you taking your health serious right now and realizing you can do the hard thing with that, next thing you know, it's like the new job you want to go after, or like the new move you want to make. So I really, really love that you said that. When people first start with you, or if somebody's on their new health journey, they're like, I might just want to lose a little bit of weight. I want to start eating healthier and making more nutritional options for my body to nourish it. What would you recommend if somebody just wants to start slowly to flip their life right now? I'm not talking big picture, little sustainable steps.
Start getting active in your local farmer's market. If it's available to you, start reading ingredients, start meditating, start focusing on your breath, you know, like master your triggers, like little things. Start drinking more water. The average person is extremely dehydrated, and we're made up of water. You know, like the quality of water makes a big difference within our system. So, but they are small shifts. Yeah. And it happens every time. Within like the first week or 2 weeks, the moment people start feeling better, meaning like reducing inflammation, they're sleeping better. Because again, it's hard to make the right choices when you're in pain. Yeah. And so most people are starting from, I'm in pain. I know I want to be here, but I don't know how to get there. And so I help them bridge the gap. And so once people start feeling better, just reducing inflammation is huge. Just by them getting a little bit of restfulness, because I always say like sleep and rest are two different things. Then all of a sudden they're in the right mindset to be like, hey, like, what do you use for toothpaste? And what do you use for shampoo? And what do you use for skincare? And what, you know, now they're asking me, because now they're starting to see the big picture, and it's not just about what you eat. It's about how you do life in general. Definitely. And like you said, how you do anything is how you do everything. And so, you know, I work with different brands and companies that I really value and love, that I've been using for many, many years, that I'll, you know, share and offer. But that to me is the lifestyle. It's not, people get so focused on like organic juicing and all these things, but it's like, okay, but if I were to walk into your home and you have all this organic food and you have your natural spring water, your alkaline water, but then I check under your sink and it's full of toxic chemicals, then this is also an area that you get to perhaps think about as well. Yeah. And just even the smell of these fragrances are so toxic, and something like produce being near these toxic chemicals, like the produce absorbs it. Yeah. So, you know, I really try and give people like a big picture in terms of like, this isn't just about eating organic or drinking clean water. Like, this is a full-on lifestyle transformation. Oh, definitely. And I have fun with it, you know, I have fun with it. So to close out, what do you think is the most fundamental thing to starting to live more consciously healthy and well? Well, I think you must have a desire to want that for yourself. Because often what I see too is when people start getting healthy, they want it for others, and they realize that the work wasn't just about them. Yeah. And of course, you can always, work with someone like me or like you to help with that process. But also just simple things like get curious. Get curious about what you are putting on and in your body every day. The ingredients are right there in front of us every day. And we don't think or we don't question it. And yet we are consumers.
Yeah.
And so just get curious, start reading labels, start reading ingredients. And if you don't know what they are, then we have our phones that we are attached to 24/7. So the availability is it's here. We just have to tap in and leverage these tools that we have for us for good, and just one step at a time. And I always say, like, just be patient with yourself, because even for myself, I see a lot of clients that they're just hard, as if it needs to be some other way. And it's like, no, it doesn't need to be any other way than it is now. Like, all you have is right now, and that's perfect. So if you're frustrated, then great, be frustrated. If you're at ease, then great, be at ease. But just get curious, have fun, don't take it too seriously. But yeah, just start reading labels around the home. Everyone has plenty of products to go around.
Yeah.
To just start checking ingredients and labels and what they're actually bringing into their home, and start making it feel like your home.
Thank you so much for that. I do think that it can seem hard, and I'm not saying that it's not, but it also seems so simple at the same time, how it's like easier said than done, most people will say. But I'm like, once you get into it, you guys, and this is coming from somebody who never used to look at a label, it gets easier as you do it. And the more you learn to love yourself and enjoy the process.
Yeah. And it's a practice, but it gets to be a willing practice that then once things start unleashing, you're like, oh, this makes sense now. Oh, this was linked with that. It'll just start and let things unfold for you on your behalf. It'll click. Yeah. And like you said, it does get easier. I mean, I've been doing this for, my goodness, 18 years, and I'm still learning something all the time. But I love learning. I geek out with that. So yeah, just start from your home.
Thank you so much for being here with me, Sarah. It's always a pleasure. And thank you so much for your insight and wisdom.
Thank you.
And for our listeners, I will go ahead and link in our bio below everything about Sarah, how you can reach her. Please reach out if you do want to live a more conscious lifestyle. And on that note too, also thank you guys so much for listening. Until next time, I love you. Boom.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank